Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great week so far. I've just finished up with my session. It was so nice. I might have another one. So I thought a message I want to share with you tonight to kind of maybe this will motivate you. Maybe this will break down barriers that words create. I always think like if I think blue door, even if I say blue door to you, in your mind, that could be something else. If we had to both draw a stick, I'm assuming it'll even look different, you know? So I try to break down words into concepts that are, it's almost like if you have a nice soup. Soup's nice, but it's complicated if you don't know what's in there. But if I break down the ingredients, the soup makes more sense, you know? So let me give you something that is something I thought about and I thought I'd share. How do we do the impossible? It's step by step. In essence, it's like if I had to tell you, go climb Mount Everest as an example. Now for you to go and do that would be physically and factually impossible. For you to do that and just go down. So if you had to talk to somebody that has done it before, now you two have now met up and having a conversation. You said, I want to do Everest. He'll tell you, okay, well, that's impossible. But now you go to that individual and say, you know what, I want to do Everest by this date. This is the training I'm going to be doing. This is the food I'm going to be eating. You map out certain steps and decisions that you've made after you have done your homework or after you have considered all the risks and benefits and rewards and the journey involved in undertaking in anything, I guess, that this is the steps that you're going to take, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do. That person might start to see how it becomes possible because they've done it, but they would sometimes look and say that's impossible for you to do it, that you are not equipped to do that. But if you can lay out a plan like that towards somebody that knows what they're doing, they're like, this person has a shot if they can start to understand the predicament they now have put themselves in. To try and reach something that is physically impossible, it becomes possible through certain steps, through people that have done it can tell you that. But if we didn't have these pioneers, we'd have nothing to look at. There's many pioneers over the years that I've really taken inspiration from and have motivated me, and I know I've motivated some athletes out there, and it's a great thing, and I'm always very careful about how that influence is perceived, how it's used and or abused. you know Sometimes taking, I say a tool is something, it's like there's some tools I use, and I would say it's like riding a crocodile to work. It's cool, it's fun, but at the end of the day, you're still riding a crocodile to work. It could turn around and bite you in your face any day of the week. So that's kind of how I see some of the things that we, as towards our championship aspirations or goals or whatever, it's some things we sometimes do. Anyway, that's just something I wanted to explain to you, that anything impossible becomes possible through a little bit of planning, realistic expectations, the measuring of abilities and resources. Things like that will have a big impact on making something possible or not. Just to say that somebody else did it is not necessarily say that you'll be able to do it. It might be impossible for you if you don't have the right things in place. For example, you could do everything right and would still not reach Mount Everest. That's a faith. And I was talking to Greta about something that's interesting, and I read one of Nietzsche's books. They talk about, he just speaks in something profound to do with the idea. And I'm just a little bit too stupid to articulate it effectively, but the idea is beautiful. It's 1 out of 10 people competing. Those 10 people come out of a school of 1,000. I'm saying school or group or community of 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people. 10 pull out and say, I'll compete. All 10 want to win. But even out of the 10 that would consider themselves champions, 9 would need to lose for us to have one champion. And that can change the chemistry and even that individual. And Nietzsche would argue that that was their fate to kind of begin with. and to try to become champion, even though you were not born to be. He, I think, in a certain word, respects the effort, and it is a noble pursuit in life. It's almost like, I would say, creating art. It's something that only you could appreciate. You could die, and then people would appreciate it after your death, and then they could sell it for millions. But when you're alive, you'll live dirt poor and die poor, and you could only be appreciated many years later. So that's kind of the reality of it. And I just thought I'd break down the idea that anything is possible through effective planning and execution of your plan.